Was he ever at a convention center where you went there and blindsided him?
So I didn't blindside him. I beat him up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I didn't blindside him. I beat him up. So we going back in our studio windows. We moved up the street, like he was on Victory and Coldwater. We were on Sherman Way in Coldwater Canyon, California. So if you guys are California guys, that's still a kind of close proximity. So all of his students are coming up to my studio. So now Frank Dux, and I tell people my greatest martial arts victory in the whole world is actually putting Frank Dux out of business because he was a very smart businessman. When it comes to the karate business, that's a smart dude, man. So when I saw the for sale sign or closed sign I went and took a picture, put that guy out of business. So, but during that process, he was breaking out our windows. He was vandalizing our studio. And so our students, so what I would have anytime my students would see his students at school, at Grant High School, I said, invite them for a free class because back then we had a free fighting class. We didn't call it Valley 2, we just called it street fighting. And I got, that's when the guys would come in. That's how I'd get a lot of my students is that, hey, you want to come in and fight? We come in and knuckle up. And then if they wanted to learn, that's how we got students. That's how you converted them back in the day. That's how you taught people karate in the context of fighting at the same time. So guys would come in and we were converting all of his students because Frank wasn't teaching his classes. So they realized they were getting better training at my studio. So Frank we have this thing going back and forth, my students versus his students, blah, blah, blah. All these ninja guys are getting beat up by my guys. So that's when then at that point, it came to a head when Asoff came and told me that, hey man, Frank Dux put a contract on it. So we don't see Frank for about 6 months. So all of a sudden I'm fighting now I'm getting ready for what's called the Draka World Trade Show. And we have all the martial arts guys are having booths there, stuff like that, like a traditional martial arts trade show at the Century Plaza Hotel. So all of a sudden I said to my instructor, Mr. Trey, I said, Mr. Trey, I said, look at that. He goes, what? I said, look at that guy right there. He goes, who's that? I don't know that guy. I says, I do. That's Frank Dux. I said, he goes, leave it alone. I says, I got a pass in my pocket from the LAPD that I can whoop his ass. I got a pass. I got a card in my pocket that says Tom Lang on it. That if I get in trouble, LAPD will say that's self-defense because he got contract murder out on me. I'm gonna get him before he gets me. So I followed him, went to his booth.
Wait, did he see you coming?
No, he didn't see me coming because he was walking. So I went around the booth, right?
That's phenomenal.
I said, yeah. I said, hey, Frank. He turned around and said, hey, Frank, kill me now. I'm right here. Kill me now. And there was a guy named Stephen Williams. No one talks about Stephen Williams. Stephen Williams was a black belt, and Stephen Williams sat in the chair and watched the whole thing. So if you ever track down Stephen Williams can tell you exactly what happened because he saw it, and that was one of Frank's top black belts at the time.
So how does it go down? What's Frank's response? What's Frank's response?
Frank says, hey, Zane, he says, F off, I'm tired of your shit. And I walked up to him and I said, I'm right here, kill me right now. And so when Frank Dux said that, and so what he did was he went to throw a punch and I faded back and he missed and I slipped and rolled it and I caught him with an overhand right. I hit him with a hook to the head and I hit him with an elbow and I just started boom, 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 hitting him knees and elbows, kind of like you see in a Muay Thai fight. Body locked him at the time and was just turning him like you see in Thai boxing. Got it because he's a big dude. He's about 6'3", about 230. So I was picking him up, kneeing him and elbowing him, headbutting him and stuff like that. And then so he got out of it. And then so I stepped back and I slipped on some papers there.
Hold up. What's the rest of the trade show doing at this point?
Everybody's watching. Everybody comes over. Everybody's crowding over. Okay. Jeff Speakman, Benny Urquidez, everybody.
Was the booth coming apart?
The booth. It was a table. His table was sitting landscape, and all the other tables were sitting more alongside that. So. Okay. So he tried to throw a punch at me and try to put me over his table, but I moved and he fell on his table. So I moved around. Now I'm at Jeff Speakman's table. So he comes at me and I hit him again. Bing, 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 bing. He tries to throw another punch. He tries to grab me and choke me. So I parry his arms. I hit him with a vertical elbow, horizontal elbow, knee to the body, and elbow. I hit him again. So now he sit back and days, and all of a sudden he's mad. He's bleeding out of his nose, and then he comes at me, bum rushes me again. I step back and hit him with about 7, 8 punches, backing up, and then he finally gets him by my throat, by break his grip, and I pick him up, and I went Uchimata, and I picked him up. His feet were above his head, and I body slammed him on top of Jeff Speakman's head when it broke in half. Now I'm beating the snot out of him. He's trying to poke my eyes out, headbutt him, knee him in the body. I just thought about it. That's the first ground and pound, I suppose. And then so I'm hitting him, and I hear clicks by my ear. They said freeze, and it was LAPD. And then so
this is the NHB era of fighting.
Yeah, this is before that.
Convention center. Yeah,
this was a real fight, right? So I heard, so LAPD surrounded because that's where the president of the United States usually stays. So that's always got an LAPD station in. So the LAPD came out. They put guns to my head, clicked it, told me to freeze, put my hands up, and they put me in handcuffs. And they put Frank in handcuffs. And then that's when Art Davie comes up to me, and I think Hoist was there.
Were you still in handcuffs when you meet Art Davie?
Yeah, I was in handcuffs when I met Art Davie. I'm in handcuffs.
Art Davie tells the story about running into you, and it was
chaos.
I
didn't even know who that dude was.
Well, Art Davie says it was just whatever took place, it was pure chaos.
Oh yeah. So he comes to the crowd. I never forget him, and he looks at me, and I see this one guy mad dogging me, right? Because as a security guy, bodyguard, you learn to look at the crowd. This one guy's mad dogging me, and it's Hoist, and I don't know who this guy is.
Wait, Hoist, like babyface Hoist?
Babyface was mad dogging. So he was mad dogging me. I'm like handcuffed, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's one of Frank Dux guys. So I'm not sure who, because I'm in handcuffs. So I'm hoping to get protection from the LAPD because I might get jumped by some guys when I'm handcuffed. So what turned out to be Art Davie goes, hey, you Zane Frazier? I go, yeah. He goes, the name was Art Davie. I said, oh, hey, man, I'll make bail tonight. I got money for bail. I'll be able to make bail tonight, and I'll be able to come back to the Draca show.
Okay, so Art was talking to you about potentially fighting. Okay.
Well, no, he goes, I told him, here's the exact conversation, never forget it. I said, hey, Art, I will make bail, and I will be able to fight in the Draca show because I was fighting for a world championship called Draca, which is their version of shoot boxing, punching, kicking, and throws. So I said, hey, I'll make bail, and I'll be able to come out, and you'll be able to fight and see me fight. He goes, never mind. I saw you fight. You're in the UFC. That was it.
Wow. Okay. That's the meaning of Art Davie.
Now,
go ahead.
The Frank Dux version of this is that you not only had brass knuckles, but 4 guys. And the way he tells it, he got a draw. He thinks it ended fairly even. So I'm glad we got your side of the story on tape now.
Now, but you also have the lawsuit.
Yes, I do.
Read the first line of the lawsuit. It tells you right there.
Do I have your permission to post that when we post the
100%?
Absolutely, we'll do. To hear the entire interview, please subscribe to the Lights Out MMA History Podcast, available on all major podcast platforms.